Dobar dan, everybody. Good afternoon. I'm very pleased to be here today. My name is Zied Brini. I work for ConsenSys for about 4 years. I've been in the tech industry for the past 12 years, and basically my job is to help organizations, DAOs, companies to get their software from MVP to production, and my specialty is really to go to prod and do some enterprise deployment. I'm very pleased to be here today in Croatia and in Split in particularly, so I would like to thank the organization committee for the invitation. And today I'm going to talk about the first decentralized customer care platform. Little disclaimer, my slides sometimes might seem wordy, but it's on purpose because I know this intervention is being recorded and the material will be shared, so I thought it could be useful for the audience. All right, the rationale. So when we look at the current tech industry today, let's say you are using a software or something like that, and you have an issue with the software, you have a question about the software, you have more or less two options, right? The first one is you contact the software manufacturer, the software company, and you open a ticket, often through Zendesk, etc., etc. And then you're going to get corporate support from the organization. The other avenue that you have, like we all have done that, is you don't know about the question or the answer, and you go on forum, you Google your question, and sometimes you go on forum dedicated by the company itself, or forum like whatever forum, Quora, Stack Overflow, etc., etc. This is good in the world of Web 2, where the industry is mature, okay? But in the context of Web3, what we realized is a couple of things. The first one is when we are in an environment that is like in hyper-growth, it's very, very, very hard to hire a lot of people in one shot to be able to support your product. The second thing is you have a lack of efficiency. So you, as building new protocols, building new Web3 products, you want to answer all the questions on Discord or any type of forum that you would like to have, and then you lose focus on building the product because you have a lot of noise around you. On the other side, in the community support that exists, you have very, very competent people that know your product super well, sometimes better than your people internally, but they are not incentivized at all, and they have a limited access to provide feedback and contribute to the organization that produces that software. So to give you one example, at ConsenSys, for example, with MetaMask in 2021, so we released MetaMask swaps, and then with the boom of DeFi and NFT, the volume of tickets increased by 100. And so the first reflex that we had is we did what we knew from our past experience, and we started to hire people. And we realized with the war on talent and training all the people on public permissionless protocol is not that easy, we were able only to scale out of 3, despite the best practices in place, the best processes, the hiring, whatever you can do at one stage, it just go too fast, right? So we came to the conclusion that traditional linear scaling is not adapted for Web3 at all when it comes to customer service and customer care. So we came up with VillageDAO. So what's VillageDAO? So that was announced last week in permissionless in Palm Beach, but first time in Europe here, so I'm very happy to do so. So ConsenSys, we are working with a company called LivePerson. LivePerson is a company that provides customer care based on AI conversations, etc. They are already supporting our product, MetaMask. So for example, if you have a bot popping up, etc., you might have used it. That's LivePerson. And we, together as a group, we decided that maybe it's time to decentralize the customer care industry because the way it is working at the moment is not working anymore. So we decided to come up with a mission statement is VillageDAO is focused on becoming the primary community support infrastructure provider for Web3 communities. And it follows the mindset and the philosophy of Web3. We are not in the age of silo anymore, we are in the age of communities. Everybody were like write papers on Medium, we should decentralize industries and everything. We're like, okay, I think it's time to stop writing and let's do it. So what was the journey? So the first thing, we sat down, my colleague from customer success team in ConsenSys and LivePerson, and the first statement was, okay, ideally, in an ideal world, the ultimate vision is Web3 should be able to support itself, right? And the other thing was, if we want to reach mass adoption, we need to give great customer support to the users because it's still super niche. People don't understand well. Discord is not made for everybody. So we had to find a way to enhance the customer experience to make sure that we get better and more users on the Web3 world. Then after that, as any product design that you have to do, first thing is like you define your personas, right? So we define 3 types of personas. The first one are the consumers, or the users. So we can talk about corporations that are trying to transition from Web 2 to Web 3. We're talking about DAOs, DeFi protocol, Web 3 organization. And the users or the consumers, what they do is they're using a product, or they're using a brand, or they're using an application, and they can go and ask questions on the platform, on the DAO platform. The second group of users are the brands. So, for example, the first brand that we're going to integrate as part of VillageDAO is MetaMask. And the idea is to have like many brands either from Web 2, Web 3. And the idea for this brand is to incentivize their communities. They know that they have a community present, or they expect to have a growing community on their product. And the idea is how we can incentivize them and to make sure they love even better our product. And then we have the experts. So we are talking about community teams in organization, but also individuals that are enthusiastic about the product and want to contribute. Then we started to ask the right questions. So first question, we were like, how do we protect consumer from malicious expert in a community platform? We all know it. Discord is like a ball of scams. And it's really hard sometimes to see the truth from what is fishy. The second question we were asking were like, outside of tokenization potentially, how can we incentivize these people also and making sure they remain engaged? And finally, how can we convince the builders, the companies and the brands to adopt the DAO model, the customer care DAO, the customer care decentralized, and integrate the platform? And so therefore, starting from these 3 questions, we decided to set up 4 objectives. The first one is we want to have higher level of engagement with Web3 communities. We want to reduce the noise and increase the signal. Our attention, our focus should be concentrated to value-added activities. We should not spend too much time on Discord and then after that you waste time and you're not building your product. We should have a social reputation that comes with it. So it gives credibility to the experts, credibility to the brands. And so it removes away basically the scams and the phishing. And finally, become the one-stop shop for brands' support information. So we did the product vision. We identified the persona. We have a mission statement. And we're like, okay, it's time to decentralize customer care. It's good to go. We need to build it now. All right, so in terms of mechanism, the way we envisioned this was basic and agnostic product flow. We want the platform to be as agnostic as possible so that it can adapt to any use case. The first thing is you're a user, you have a question, or you want to solve an issue. You go to Discord or you go on the platform website and you raise your issue. The user gets routed to the VillageDAO platform. Then after that, you have 2 choices. The first one is you can either self-resolve yourself. There's going to be a lot of material, FAQ, resources, and everything. So you might find your answer immediately. Or you don't find your answer, and then after that, you're going to interact with a brand expert. That brand expert can be an individual from the community or somebody belonging to the organization. It doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, whether your question is answered or not, as a user, you will be able, in a decentralized way, to give your opinion about your satisfaction as a user and as a customer. Okay. A couple of other features that we looked at also is all the unresolved issues should be proactively actioned, making sure we can send that feedback loop to the product teams. We are making sure as well that people don't do like bad things on the platform, so we are thinking about a watcher role on the platform, and we want to make all the conversation publicly available so everyone will be on their best behavior. So these were the ground rules basically that we have established, and then after that we're like, okay, what will be the 4 pillars or the 4 epics that's going to build up the VillageDAO? The first thing is we thought about the season structure. How can we incentivize and gamify the experience for the people to come and become experts on the platform? the reputations and the point systems and badging that follow by that, so how we calculate and track reputation, and how the experts can generate points for engagement, and at the end of the day also, how the DAO is going to be governed, and how the experts are going to be incentivized. So gamify the community experience. So this is coming from my team that are way younger than me. I don't play to League of Legends and Fortnite, but what they're explaining me is basically the idea is like you enter on the platform as an expert and you have a season. Okay, so meaning you have a period of time or a certain type of engagement or an iteration where you can become an expert and you can contribute. The idea of putting a season in place is to give a chance for the new joiner to be able to join, and it's not like the first one who joined at the beginning that stays an expert all the time. So we try to recycle that. That's the first aspect. The second aspect is to generate point and recognize expertise. This is a bit like technical, well, it's not super technical, but the idea is basically we have experts, we have users, you receive tickets, you receive customer score, satisfaction score, you receive amount of resolved ticket, and then you get an aggregate score. And this aggregated score as an expert for you basically will give you your badge, right? So are you going to be a master expert, a diamond expert, a platinum expert? This is nothing new. If you go on Web2 platform today, it's pretty much the same principle. Depending on the person that answers to you in the forum, you're going to see also the level of qualification. We take all these points at the end of the day, and then we can be able to incentivize the experts during the season per se. Try to track the reputation. The idea of the reputation is it's only gained on the platform. You cannot buy a reputation, or you can only earn it, you cannot trade it, and also your reputation can be negatively impacted if you're doing bad actions according to the DAO governance on the platform. This reputation is stored within an NFT, and then it evolves through time, etc. So it's fully transparent on the Ethereum network, for example, in that specific example, or another protocol maybe in the future. So a reputation is based obviously to give you a bonus on your point total, and it impacts also basically the amount of vote that you can have as a governance as part of your platform. And finally, engage and get rewards, so incentives. I cannot talk about it today. We are still working on it. We are figuring out the token economics, but obviously it's a DAO, so I'll let you guess what's going to come. And then in terms of governance, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. Any user can submit a governance proposal. It will go into review. We are using snapshot.org at the moment. Proposal can meet qualifying criteria and then approved, and then the DAO will, at the end of the day, govern itself with its own treasury and any type of other DAO as well. So the next step for us, so in collaboration with Lightpercent, so we are developing at the moment the platform. So shout out to my team who stayed and are starting the sprint number 3 today. So we are looking forward to implement the tokenomics and the badging system. We're going to have a testnet in beta where you're going to be able to test it and use it. We're going to make a launch, and then it's going to come with a white paper, etc., etc. So in a nutshell, Web3 is about decentralizing industries. Mass adoption is about also giving great customer experience to our users. And VillageDAO try to combine both. We invite every builder, every company that is building on Web3. You have a community and you're thinking about going to production and you're starting to question how you're going to be able to support your users. Scan the QR code and feel free to join our first cohort. That was me. Thank you so much. I'll be happy to take questions if there is any.
Yeah, one question for me. Over here, Zied.
Marco?
Yeah, Marco, of course. Who
Hello,
else?
dobar dan, Marco. Kako ste?
Dobar dan. Are you able to like funnel all the customer success questions or inquiries and everything else to the product team in a way and inform maybe the product and UX designers or whoever is on the team to make some decisions based on these customer success inquiries?
That is the objective, definitively. So our customer success organization is quite classical at the moment, so which means that for every product you're going to have one or several customer success managers that are working directly with the product managers to feed basically the feedback from the community. It's already happening at ConsenSys actually, so the CSM works with our clients and we feedback that channel, but I think it's too cumbersome still, and a platform like the VillageDAO could be interesting to aggregate data, understand themes, understand patterns, put some data analytics around it, and then be more analytical about the feedback that we are receiving from our consumers. So it's good, but not enough. So we are pushing forward. Does it answer your question?
Yeah. One more question. So maybe I did not get it from the beginning, but this will be like owned by you in a sense, like or like open source, or everybody's will be able to implement it, or?
It's a DAO. So at the moment, ConsenSys and LivePerson are building the tech stack. We are building that, but ultimately it should be the community that's going to take care of it. It's not going to be a proprietary application.
All right, thanks.
First of all, congratulations. Finally, someone gets how important customer support is for scaling projects. My question is, do you have an idea how to keep the scammers out? How is this going to be different from like Telegram groups where everybody helps everybody and many of them might be scammers?
So the reputation system that we want to put in place is going to partially, I think, counter that. So each expert that comes on the platform is going to be vetted, etc., by the other community. Also, it's a website. It's not a Discord channel or a Telegram channel. So it really looks professional, like it's corporate, but at the same time it's decentralized. So that's the idea at the moment. And we're going to work in collaboration with the brands. So rather than working with the communities, obviously we're going to work with the communities, but the first point of engagement is to work with the brands. So at the moment we are working with our colleagues in MetaMask to say, okay, which type of support you would like to do, which type of content you would like to do. And the idea is like for the people to understand that when you have a VillageDAO in place, this is the right place to go to ask questions. But there is more to come. We are still like iterating on that. The website is kind of ready. We are working on the Web3 GS part and the blockchain piece. More to come. But this is an objective and we're trying to figure this out at the moment. Yeah.
Thanks.
I was just going to ask, can we see the QR code again?
Oh, of course. Definitively. Here you go.
Hey,
hello.
Just one question. Who's going to take care of the gas fees?
Who's going to take care of the gas fees?
Yeah.
This is a great question. So my understanding is, obviously we need to incentivize the community. So which means that the brands, rather than having their own customer care, at one stage they're going to put some value, token, money, whatever, in a pool to attract the experts and, hey, come and support my product, right? When it comes to the gas fees, I don't know exactly, but we have multiple choice of protocol at the moment. We're not obliged to go on mainnet. We have Polygon, we have other stuff. So I don't think the gas fee is going to be that much an issue if we choose a protocol that is like low gas fee. That's my understanding of the product vision internally. I cannot say more for the moment.
I think that's it.
All right, thank you so much, and wish you a great conference.